Hi folks, another piece of my life. So, might as well start with this. The ghost chili soup. Get through a lot of this. That's what it's all about, food. Love food. Bloody love it. And in fact, food is the only thing I eat. Well, not the only thing I eat. But never mind that. I made a little bit of a list of how food affects my life. But to start with, apart from the fact of, like all of us, we have food in our life because it sustains us, and we all eat it in one form or another. A little bit into why probably food is a little bit more important to my life than just something you eat. And it goes back, we can go back a very long time. I'm trying to I also love lots of things. I remember lots of dishes, things that we ate when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I remember, what would I have been, 3 or 4 maybe. Lived with me mum and my nan, my mum and my nan. And I remember sitting at this table. I remember this one meal. I'd done it before, but this one meal I remember. I had the meal and I had mashed potato. And I remember sitting there as this little toddler building snowmen out of mashed potato. So it's a very early memory of food. I remember a lot of those days, a lot of our food was an important part. From that time, it was always important to me. I always had this thing of watching how things were done. I'd watch my mum cooking food. When I was a little bit older, I would have a go at 1 or 2 things, and which I was allowed to have a go at. And then when I was at school, it came round to, I imagine, having to think about what you was going to do with your life, what you was going to do afterwards. And I think what probably tipped it, I think it was a Mrs. Beeton book. If anybody knows the old chef from years ago, Mrs. Beeton, it's a book loads of people have used to cook from. I actually won a book doing an art competition, and you could pick prizes you wanted, and I picked this book. And I remember having it. I did give it away some years later to some newly married couple that might need it. But that was the time when I said to myself, yeah, I'm going to be a cook. I remember going up, I was at school for boys, so I actually lived there. And I remember going up to a teacher one day and saying, I'm going to be a cook when I leave school. The funny thing is, I got to 16, the age suddenly jumped from 14 to 16 for leaving. Coming up to 16, I was going to be leaving school, and they came to me and said, got your job. Oh, thank you very much. I was sort of planning on going back home, like, yeah, we got your job. And this job was and if you watch my video on paranormal, you would have seen Ettington House, Manor, whatever you want to call it. that's where they got me the job, just outside Stratford-on-Avon, which wasn't too far away from the school. So I left there and I went there, and that's where the career kicked off. And it went on for many years. Some of you might know about my career, some probably don't. But yeah, I was a chef. I was head chef, executive chef for around about 40 years, I should imagine. So I learnt to cook. I did management courses and passed those. My City and Guilds, which were the exams you took at the time, health and safety certificates, you name it, I did it over the years. So I had a really, really good career of catering. That's probably why you see this stuff in my face so much. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail of that. I did spend a lot of years in the blue and white check trousers, white jacket, neckerchief, tall hat, and I flipping loved it. Somebody said to me maybe 2 days ago, if you had your time all over again, would you do that all over again? I said, too flipping true, I would. It's an hard job. Anybody thinking of going into catering and being a chef, it is an hard job, and it depends on what line you go as well. But if you're in hotels and restaurants and that, it's bloody hard, long hours. So pick the area you want to go into wisely. So yeah, that's really how food became very important in my life. Using it every day. So yeah, there's I thought I'd make a list of things that are on the food side of my life. One, yeah, especially being a chef and not going in other directions, I am a meat eater. I'm aware of it, and I do think that in this day and age now, the production of it has got way out of hand, and if nothing else, that should be brought under control and things done in a much flipping nicer and humane manner than some people do it. I'm not saying it's done like that over the board, but there's many areas that could be flipping improved. So yeah, I am a meat eater from being the eye to a grasshopper. Chili. It's not the soup, it's the flipping real boys down there. Goes to the back of your throat, and then somewhere along the line you go and it takes it off. My favourite food. My favourite food, as you might tell, is spicy. I've always loved spicy food. I've always loved curries. I've always loved chilies. So anything, whatever it is, if it entails spice, chili, spice, hot, heat, I'm in. So that would be my favourite. So yeah, if we say favourite takeaways, it's gonna be either something hot. If it's not something hot, it'd be something like the good old English fish and chips. You'll often see me with fish and chips, mushy peas. Voila. It is a bloody good dish. Lots of other British dishes. Now, there seems to be this thing going around, it's been going around for bloody years, that, oh, bloody British food, it's bland, it's this, it's that, it's the other. It isn't. Really, it is not bland or anything. And we're not talking over the last 10 years or something. For many years, there's been lots of culture within British cooking. So you've had a pretty large array of different foods, different nationalities and everything all blending in. And even if what we call traditional English food, it is not bland and bloody awful. If you're a crap cook, it could be bland and bloody awful. Any dish could be bland and awful. But if you cook things as you should do and you bloody season them and you cook them correctly, there's flavour in there. Because you bet your bottom dollar somewhere over the centuries somebody's would go, what the frickin' hell's this? Bloody awful. Better bloody improve that, I think. So no, it's not bland and that. Favourite fruit, definitely bananas. Lots of berries. I love strawberries. Favourite pudding, crumbles. I love crumbles. Fruit with the crumble mix on the top. In the oven, crumble mix goes crumbly. Good old English custard on top of that. If you want to, good old cream, whatever. Oh, flipping gorgeous. On top of that, I eat lots of custard tart. Custard tart. Yeah, so that's it on the food side, really. But something I wanted to bring up, waste. Oh, goodness flipping me. UK, America, the waste of food is bloody incredible. I go shopping and I buy what I need, more or less, sometimes for a couple of days or so, but I don't go bloody shopping for the month or whatever. It's a disaster to start with unless you're really spot on. I see people just whacking stuff into the shopping basket and I think, how much of that is going to the bloody tip? Because a lot of it is going to the tip. And which brings me on to this next bit, dates. Now, I don't know what you have in America or you have in any other country, but in this country we have two main ones which I'm going to talk about, which is a use by date and a best before date. Now, lots of people are getting these all bloody arsed up. The government should have never put really a best before date because it's not really that beneficial. Best before means if they give it a date, if the date's for December this year, December the 7th this year, it just means that after that date, that food in that tin or in that packet or whatever is going to deteriorate a little bit. And I don't mean it's going to go bloody awful. It might lose its colour a little bit. It might lose its taste a little bit. Its taste may change a little bit. It might lose or change with the colour and the taste. But if you eat it, it's not going to do any bloody harm. If it's in a tin that's been scrunched or if there's holes in the tin or anything, common sense tells you air's got in there, possibly. Don't use it, flipping sling it. But when things are sealed, no oxygen or air getting in there, they've been cooked at a certain temperature or whatever, it means that they're steadfast. Nothing is going to grow within them to harm you. The only thing is, if you see a bar of chocolate that's well over date, if it was January or January the year before, you could look at that, so bloody hell, that was out of date, January 2017. You can throw it over your shoulder, but you can eat it. If you open the packet, what you're probably going to see is you're going to see that the chocolate's turning a whitey colour. It's what I've said, it's losing some of the colour. It's not going to kill you. If something happened to it, you would know, you'd look at it and go, bloody hell, what alien planet has that come from? But yeah, a best before is just what it says. A used by, then yeah, used by that date. Certain things I would say professionally don't use them past that date. At home, certain things you can go that little bit over, because you bet your bottom dollar there's a built-in time bracket. So the new, well, they'll bloody eat it over that date, so let's mess the dates about a bit. So yeah, certain things you can sort of, a day or something isn't going to do any harm. Certain things are danger foods. You do not go over that date. Even if you look at that food before that used by date and it doesn't look right or it doesn't smell right, you bloody toss it. That's a used by date. But there's certain foods that are danger foods. They're danger foods because if bacteria starts to grow, then they'll produce toxins and that sort of thing, which are more bloody dangerous than bacteria. Rice starts going off, you'll get toxins. Dairy product like cream, that sort of thing. Cheese will go over, but you have cheese, you have cream, that sort of thing. You're getting in the lines of danger food, you don't. But you can learn by looking on flipping line, and it will tell you about the ins and outs. But for crying out loud, when you work and you got money and you buy food and you put it in your cupboard, don't look at a bloody tin and go, that went out of date. Best before last week. Can go in the frickin' bin, can't it? Why? You're just throwing good bloody food away. So your best befores, they'll go on weeks, months, years. Don't bloody just be tossing them away. If it's stewy type stuff, right, make sure it's nice or not when you cook it. But anyway, that's it. Look at your dates. Best before, used by, danger foods. If you don't know, if you want a list of danger foods, look it up. Danger foods. And very last thing, the future. What I've seen a lot about the future is a lot of stuff will run down, there'll be more population, there'll be less food, and it seems to say where we will be going towards in the future is insects, bugs, insects, those sort of creepy things. The things that you have a bloody good laugh at other people eating. But that is a direction we'll be going. They're in masses. They'll be reproduced in masses. Lots of protein and everything. And you can say, well, no, that's life again, or whatever. there just won't be the plant life to sustain people to the amount it does now. The animal life, and that as we call it now, won't be able to sustain. You will have to look elsewhere. And apart from probably man-made weird and wonderful stuff, that's probably where a lot of your protein and things will come from. I've tried them and not bad. But yeah, that's probably going to be the future. So that's part of my life. Food. So on that, I'm going to have a bit more. And when you buggered off, I'm going to have some of this guy can crunch away as much as I bloody like. So here's to you folks. Enjoy your food. Toddle off and get it. Don't bloody throw good food away.